Good morning, everybody. I am Lynette Berger from Probeta Training. I am the project manager for competency skills for trainees busy with their training program. On behalf of Probeta Training and Tortoise Profiles, we really welcome you to this 30-minute coffee break session. With a long weekend ahead, we trust that this session will really serve as a great starter to the weekend. Today, you will also get to meet the well-known founders of Tortoise Profiles and also learn more about our new partnership with Tortoise Profiles. So please sit back and relax for the next half an hour. So joining me today is Hetty Brits and Annetjie van Zyl. They are the founders of Tortoise Profiles, and they are also, like I said before, our new business partners. So I am just going to invite Hetty and Annetjie just to share their webcams with me, just to say hi to the audience, right? I'm just waiting for Annetjie to. I'm just going to unmute Annetjie and Hetty so that you can actually hear them talk. Right there you go. Good morning. Right.
Hello everyone, we are excited to be here. Thank you, Lynette, for setting up these sessions involving Annetjie and I. We are really looking forward to the session.
Thank you, Hetty. Right. Most of you might have been reading some interesting books of temperament. Hetty, as you know, she's a well-known author on books on temperament, and she's been speaking in South Africa as well as internationally about temperaments. And then Annetjie, she's our specialist also in temperament, and she's really responsible in training all the Tortoise facilitators. So from Probeta Training side, to our new partners, welcome to you again. I'm going to just quickly switch to the next presentation slide and just ask that Hetty, Annetjie, maybe you can just tell the audience what Tortoise all about and what do you do, just as a means of an introduction.
Annetjie, would you like to take this one?
Thank you, Hetty. Well, Tortoise basically is a predominantly web-based company. We develop instruments and workshops that improves and develops relationships, communication skills, emotional intelligence. We also like to strengthen teams and maximize their productivity. Together with that, we also train, support, and develop facilitators that use our products, and also entrepreneurs to use the Tortoise instruments in a very wide variety of occupational fields.
Okay, Annetjie, thank you for sharing that background, and you'll see here that we are really proud to be Probeta Training, really proud to be partners to Tortoise and engage with them in the future in delivering all these very interesting tools and methods in helping developing more confident leaders going forward. So we are really, really excited about this partnership, and we are also going to share a lot of these insights with you during the course of this session. All right, so with that said, I'm just going to switch off my webcam for now. Hetty and Annetjie, you can also do the same thing, and then I'm just going to move over to the next slide, which will then now deal with our agenda items. We are going to quickly touch on SAICA's recently launched project related to the CA25 Chartered Accountants of the Future, and then the third agenda point, Hetty and Annetjie will then introduce you to the Tortoise philosophy, and then after that we are going to look at how to give your first year trainees a head start in 2018, and then after that sharing with you some very exciting products we have in store for you, and then also address any questions you may have. All right, so one of SAICA's strategic objectives relates to a culture of excellence and also innovation. So, in other words, The objective aims at the delivery of highly competent people with emotional intelligence to develop intellectual capital through collaboration. So that sounds like a mouthful, but it's quite interesting to note that emotional intelligence actually plays a big part in achieving this specific objective. Now, the CI 2025 project, I think you can actually download this report from SAICA's website as well. They have identified this problem statement. I'm just going to read it out loud together with you. It states, the accounting profession is accused of delivering entry-level CAs who are not relevant to their workplaces. So to address this problem, SAICA actually launched this project with a focus not only on competency skills, but also professional skills, specifically relating to ethics and emotional intelligence. Now, the good news is that Tortrees, along with Probita Training, are currently engaged in a project on EQ. So Hetty will tell us more about this later on. Still with the same report, for the CA profession to remain relevant, the following needs have been highlighted in the report. And the first one actually deals with competence in multidisciplinary skills. So if you drill down a bit further in that same report, it highlights the development of business acumen, critical thinking, enhanced communication skills, and the one that stands out quite strongly there is still EQ. So are we able to take out emotions from the decision-making process? Do we have the ability to influence outcomes? Can you manage your emotions? Because emotions actually drive one's behavior, right? So moving along to the next point, commitment to lifelong learning. Stakeholder agnostics. And the fourth point there, commitment to the truth, ethical leadership. I just want to throw in pink full perhaps there. It also relates to effective leadership. Now, this specific need, I'm sure, will become even more important and relevant just given the current developments in our profession the last couple of days. So moving along, sharing legacy knowledge, and also being connected to the real world. Now, we all know that technology is also dramatically shifting the nature of how we work, and as a result, our current skills need to be altered to perform our work at a much more different level. So how we communicate, how we relate, how we interact or share with people in our own immediate environment, as well as the virtual environment, already becoming a stronger focus. So that's just quite interesting to note there. Also, as part of this report, 3 skill sets have been identified for the CA 2025, and those 3 skills relate to critical thinking, like we already mentioned, communication skills, and also cultural and social awareness. Now, Tortrees, along with Probita Training, aim at addressing exactly these 3 skill sets as part of our product and service delivery to training officers, to trainees, and also in a broader spectrum, other corporate groups in the accounting, auditing, and tax professions. Now, we identified leadership, conflict resolution, and also capacity building to meet these 3 criteria. And this is actually where the Tortrees workshops can help develop more confident leaders who knows themselves and others better, who knows what their strengths are, and also where to step up and lead. Right, so from here on, I'm just going to hand over to Hetty now to introduce to you the discovery of self-insight and also how that can benefit one in gaining knowledge about others as well. So Hetty, I'm just going to hand over to you from here on.
Thank you so much, Lynette. This is a joy for us to work with you guys at Probita, and this topic is close to my heart. My personal motto is understand your design, live your purpose. But before we can live our purpose, we need to start here. Who am I? And it is because we are human beings before we do anything. We are not human doings, we are human beings. So discovering who I am and who you are and what that makes us should come before any planning, budgeting, goal setting, because it's always the people, it's their skills, their drive, their creativity and their motivators that sink or carry our project success, isn't it? So when people put all they have on the table, each in the right place, and at the right time, and for that you need self-knowledge, something happens that is above the rules of science and business. I call it people magic. So the team does more than the sum of the team members' contributions could ever add up to. And everybody wins, which is also what we aim for, isn't it? Imagine being able to harness people's magic for yourself and for your team, to grow your life and theirs, simply by discovering what makes everybody tick. Well, that is what we aim to do. So, Aniki, you can explain what our philosophy is and our approach that gets this job done.
Yes, thank you, Eti. We would like to help you get that people magic going. But we know there are many profiling and leadership tools in the marketplace. So what makes us unique? And there are quite a few things. We've got memorable metaphors, as you can see, a three-dimensional view of how an individual looks like, a unique leadership philosophy, a strengths-based approach, and also together with our report, we give you a growth plan and an appreciation tree so that you can grow your inter and your intrapersonal skills. So if we look at the tree types, then why did we choose trees, or why did Hetty choose trees when she wrote her first book, Grandkids with Character? And that is because trees speak of life, of growth, of beauty, and of potential. So the 4 trees were chosen to capture the key characteristics of the 4 temperaments, based on the same fourfold model for temperament and personality as found in many other reputable personality instruments available today. And also, far from boxing people in, we at Tall Trees want to dig deeper into each person's uniqueness. So 14 different tree types and combinations emerge, and a workshop rarely has 2 people sharing identical results. So when we look at the three-dimensional view of an individual, the reason for this three-dimensional approach is so that we can see a person from various levels. We don't see you as you are at work, but we also know how you will choose to behave socially, how you look at life, your attitude towards life. And so even if 2 individuals end up sharing the rose bush or the palm tree title, we know that under the surface, the unique interaction between their different profiles, the social, work and life view, that will still be unique.
Another unique concept in Tall Trees is our philosophy that there is no such idea as a lot of leadership traits that should ideally be found in a leader. Tall Trees takes a different approach. There is no ideal person, only an ideal match between the person and the task at hand. It really is about location, 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 like the people in property tell us. Because a good root system develops when a tree is planted in the right spot, and then it looks like that tree in a top right corner. It's anchored, it's solid, it's going to be there for many years, there will be consistency. It actually creates a whole life-giving ecosystem around itself. But a tree in the wrong spot gets damaged. It costs money and effort, and it is supported with great trouble. It's the same with developing a leader for a task that doesn't suit their natural design. They end up looking like that tree bent over double, and their stress, their ulcers, their mood swings, everything eventually ends up costing in the efficiency of the company, but also medically and personally, and ultimately in relationships. So knowing yourself and your team and knowing your job can help you do 3 things. You can commit or recommit if you've lost your commitment, and you can excel, adjust and grow, Or you can realize I am in the wrong spot, and then you can move over to where you can be more effective and make space for a person who can do your old job more easily and with greater results. So positioning is actually your job description, and it also is your ability to grow and develop by using your self-knowledge and your team information. So when we do a tall trees profile with an individual, with a group of individuals, they discover 6 areas in their makeup, all of which enable them to harness their natural gifts and to do the same with and for others. Now, we don't have time to dig into all of these, but you'll see they'll discover fields of greatness, their personal strength, frostbite, which are the things that drain them and lead to burnout, forest fires, which we deduct from their social profile, and that is the way they communicate and deal with conflict. Their life view will tell us where they can grow and where they can tackle that challenge to move beyond your comfort zone. And then from their overall leadership profile, we find their forces within, their natural inborn strengths, and then their fertilizer, which is what they need to flourish. The growth plan that Anniki mentioned takes us through 4 steps where we embrace who we are as a leader, think about it a little bit and how we can maximize it by exploring as a second step. And then we ask ourselves, who's supposed to know about my profile and about my skills? We act as an advocate for ourselves and others. And then lastly, we say, all right, temperament may be a square logo in the tall trees zone, but it's not a box. It does not have a ceiling. It does not have a lid. I can grow. Where do I grow? And then Anniki will talk about this very important relational component, the appreciation tree.
Our appreciation tree is sort of like a relationship meter. And Dr. Koo Eun Team, the former business coach for Coca-Cola and Samsung in Singapore, he said it well. He said all of life hinges on relationships. And that is exactly what we try to do in a workshop, is to move people from a judging relationship towards an appreciating relationship. So when we meet someone, are we judging, or can we grow to understanding or respecting until we get to the secret of appreciating people for their own uniqueness? And when we get to appreciation, then targets take care of themselves.
All right, Iti, Anniki, thank you for sharing that valuable information on tall trees. I'm now going to just elaborate on the next topic of discussion, dealing with our first year trainees. Now, just by looking at this picture, it will be great to employ such enthusiastic and energetic trainees as part of the learning program, or even so demonstrating this enthusiasm throughout the training program. But how is it that they give up too soon? Why do they always seem burned out? Or why are they so difficult to get along with? Now, ProBeta training acknowledges tall trees profile's view that when one is planted in exactly the right spot, it means that the leader will be able to grow and develop if he or she actually uses self-knowledge and also team information. Now, we believe that this philosophy will really address that problem statement that we looked at earlier on, the fact that entry-level CAs are not relevant to their workplaces. I'm sure you will agree with me that people constantly feel the need to be seen and also to be understood. And Tall Trees Profiles definitely succeeds in creating this really caring connections in people and also in leaders. So with the background to Tall Trees Profiles and our passion to be part of your trainees' success, we introduced an all-new induction program for the 2018 intakes. So this program will be running for 2 days. Day 1 will basically deal with the psychoregulations and competency skills framework. We also thought it best to also throw in the latest developments on independence, on ethics, and also now a no-claw. if you are recruiting grade 12s to start their journey next year, you can actually give them a head start by let them join this induction program already during the October and December school holidays. This program will also run on our virtual training platform as a start off, and then during the first quarter of 2018, we will also introduce some public courses in Pretoria and also Johannesburg. Now, day 2, trainees will complete their own leadership and temperament profile report online, and then thereby also get to know themselves and others better. The aim at day 2 is to really discover who am I and who are you? In which circumstances should I raise my hand to grab that opportunity? And should I also allow others to step forward? So this day will really be packed with valuable tools to get your trainees started. We also include office etiquette, some motivational talks, a personal growth plan amongst others, and also maybe building your own brand and look at that bucket list for your articles. Right, so some of the other exciting products that we have in store for you really relates to the more corporate environment. So Probita Training in association with Talltree's Profiles will also offer these products. So at the start, I'm just going to introduce to you some of the products that we have in mind for trainees as part of their training program. We have already had a look at the junior induction program. The next bullet point there dealing with the auditor in charge. That's for our final year trainees. We've packaged a special workshop in that it might just be of great help to help them lead a team, to really understand themselves first and foremost, but also understand their team members better, so to meet audit and engagement deadlines more effectively and efficiently. Now, when we look at the professional competency skills, and I've listed them in very short there on the slide, we also engaged with SAICA to introduce our workshops in order for trainees to simulate some professional competency skills and get sign off on those skills. So Hetty will elaborate more on those workshops we have in offer. Then also still busy with our final year trainees. Most of them are in the process of maybe thinking of what they're going to do next year and so forth. So the focus on this workshop will be on the workplace readiness aspect, maybe dealing with personal insights, what's life like after articles. We're going to look at career choices and also build in, of course, that element of EQ. Which is quite significant these days. So we also offer one-on-one coaching sessions for trainees during their training program, because there's always a need to just check in and see whether I'm still fine or whether I just need someone just to push me a bit forward. Right, so that's just dealing with the trainees as part of their training program. Then for the training officers, we also have something in store, and I would like to allow Hetty just to explain this to you. Right, Hetty?
Thank you, Lynette. Yes, the questions that were on our first slide on the icebreaker are the questions predominantly asked by the training officers, and the Talltree's workshop lays a foundation to enhance the entire company culture and the way people are recruited and managed and rewarded. So there will be no more mismatches between the recruits and their task, and no more weak links in the team, because you will be able to know what to look for, and you'll have much more tolerance around the office appreciation, team harmony, conflict resolution, and excellence and overall success. Because you will, in these corporate workshops that flow out of these interventions, you will get the answer to how do I use a more focused workshop that follow after the basic ones to get answers to team building, specifically strategic planning, deploying the right team for the right job, and how to develop the individual leaders. So this starts touching on the HR and performance-related challenges that you may have. So there are 4 in-depth workshops that follow after that basic one, and they are offered in a format that fits your goals. It can be a light team-building session when you go on a retreat or when you regroup sometime during the year, or an in-depth coaching towards productivity and more effective teamwork, whatever your team needs right then. So we cooperate with management, HR, sub-teams, or the entire office to maximize the capital locked up in your people. So these packages that you see on your screen, Grow a Team Foundation or Grow a Team Root to Fruit, Grow a Top Tier, Grow a Team Pro, these each go on a certain level and will be able to guide you so that you know which level of leadership intervention is going to be perfect for you.
So if we can help you close those gaps, let's make this slide a bit more interactive, and then you are now welcome to use your drawing tool to circle the outcome.
Okay, so you can screen through those and decide, is it improved team dynamics that's an issue at the moment? How are the stress levels? Greater tolerance, maybe the last issue also, cultural diversity. We find so often when we do a cultural diversity workshop that actually it's a temperament diversity issue that we have. It's not per se racial differences or language differences that create the divide. It's usually one temperament type not getting along very well with another temperament type. So it gives us a new language to describe who are the people that we struggle to work with in a more constructive way. Well, it's really encouraging to see it's pretty much across the board. So when I see the uncircled top point, I have to assume that you have very confident leaders or that you are all very confident leaders, which is wonderful. We can work with people like that. But if you see a young leader with so much potential not stepping up yet, then obviously that is something we would love to develop.
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree with you there. Right. I don't see any other screen activities, so I think it's a good time then just to move along. But thank you for those who participated. Really, really interesting to see this. I'm just then going to remove the artwork there, and then we can just proceed to the next slide. All right, Tete, I'm sure we are excited about this slide, so I'm just going to also give you the opportunity to explain this one.
Yes, this is exciting because this is our very brave attempt to address the complaints and concerns raised in the Future CA 2025, saying that we are not competent in a wide enough range. We are not committed to lifetime learning. We don't understand stakeholder agnostics, and we are not always committed to the truth or ethical enough for whatever reason. And we don't always share our knowledge in a way where we know we are supposed to grow others. And we are not always in touch with the real world or even eager to really be in the real world. So a Tall Trees and Pro Beta EQ report is going to use the Tall Trees leadership style profile of each individual and give them a report based on those basics to tell them this is your default set of EQ skills and behaviors. It'll provide an analysis of the areas to grow in. At this point, we're calling them your comfort zone, which you're just blessed with, but maybe your capability zone or capacity zone where you can learn, and then your challenge zone, those areas that you really need to focus on so that you can be the kind of leader who encompasses this vision of ours, that you will be growing me, growing you, growing us, and growing our world.
Absolutely, I'm looking really much forward to this report, and I'm sure everybody in both corporate environment as well as our trainees will really benefit from such a report as in support of the already standard TTLP or Tall Trees Leadership Profile report. And thank you for sharing that, Hetty. All right, we have reached the end of our session today. But before we close off today, we also want to really recognize the important role of the training officers, the partners, the managers, the supervisors plays in developing the trainees and getting them ready for the market. So thank you also for your continuous efforts and dedication and thereby enhancing the value of our profession. We are very excited and look forward to engage with you in the future. More information about these workshops and service offerings will be posted on our website soon. Be also sure to join us on Facebook, on Twitter, or LinkedIn for further information. You're most welcome to drop myself, Lynette Berger, an email.
Dis Henk van Zuidam. Ek wil net 'n vinnige vraag vra rondom dat my kinders gebruik jou boek vir die kinders by die boontjies, so ek weet dit werk.
Ja, Henk.
Met hierdie millennials, nee. Wat is die enkelste ding wat hulle moet keer?
Weet jy, ek glo ons is mos nou al half 'n bietjie verby die millennials na die volgende ouens toe, en ek moes vir 'n opvolgboek wat gaan oor entitlement, moes ek 'n bietjie navorsing doen oor hierdie generasies en temperamente en hoe dit in mekaar insteek, Henk. En iets wat baie duidelik na vore gekom het, is die kwessie van entitlement. Dit is eintlik die groot mindset van die millennial, is die wêreld is my speelplek en alles moet vir my aangepas word en dinge moet wees soos ek dit graag wil hê. So my kort vinnige antwoord daarop is om vir elke ou te sê, hierdie is waar jou entitlement traps sit, gebaseer op jou geaardheid, sodat mense daai selfinsig kan kry. Want entitlement is die groot vyand op hierdie stadium van produktiwiteit en groei in ons maatskappy, na my mening.
Ja, maar dis soos die een het mooi vir my opgesom. Millennials sal alles van jou vat en dan nog steeds niks wel op tafel gesit het nie.
Dit is korrek. maar dit is interessant. Hulle sal $5,000 neersit en Amerika te vlieg om baie oulike coach te gaan sien vir 2 dae, om gementor te word. So, dis 'n snaakse manier van werk in hulle onmiddellike, direkte, waar die tekkie die slaan, job environment, wil hulle nie noodwendig 'n verskriklike contribution maak nie, maar hulle wil weet van die groot en wonderlike goed wat in die wêreld gebeur. Die verstaan, die terugryk na die realiteit, dat die groot wonderlike goed wat in die wêreld gebeur ook maar waar die tekkie die teer slaan, dis maar waar dit begin. Dis 'n realiteit wat vir hulle soms moeilik is om te sluk, maar dis waar ons moet begin.
All right. So from our side, Prebita Training and Tool Trees, have a fabulous weekend.